Hello.
Good evening.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thanks. Except
Alright.
it's 2 a.m. again and all.
Yeah, crazy late as always.
Yeah.
Alright, well, this is the post-gem version of The Last Light. Let's get that going.
We built it like 2 hours ago.
Nice. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the volume mixer to reduce the audio because this way everyone else can still hear it, at least somewhat in the background there.
Yeah. The main thing we fixed with 1.0 was the level ending sound, because apparently Unity effectively multiplied the volume of 20 panels falling down.
Oh boy.
And that was a bit loud.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
We did think quite a bit on how to make it less, to add some kind of orientation to it, and the best we came up with was to add constellations. So, like, link the stars in the background so you can see them and orient yourself while still out of the field, and not something that would be weird in terms of the story. But as we were trying, well, first of all, that entirely doesn't feel like an in-jam fix. And I still tried to do something, but I didn't quite manage to make it look good enough. I do have a few screenshots. I think I can share them. Let me see.
Oh, did you change the distance or of the jump at all?
I don't think we did. I wanted to fix it along with the hitbox size, so that, well, kinda, it's a complex issue, because the hitbox size, a smaller hitbox size would allow us to light the panels up, to make a bigger hitbox for panels to light up. But one thing, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But everything chains together, so decide against it for the gem build.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say I was having just as much trouble on some of those double wide jumps, so
yeah, I just while designing the first levels, I thought that adding the double jumps so that you know that these are possible to do would be an important thing, but probably I overdid it a bit. I'm sorry?
Oh, yeah, it looks like there's just a bit of conversation happening there, so
yes?
Yeah, it's all good?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I mean no. Oh, right, there's the invisible one there. Yep.
So yeah, as you can see, the main addition was the purple line where there's nothing. Other than that, yeah, thank you, Dr. Tronig. Other than that, we did update the shader animation thingy so that it works better with different colored blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And some other minor things. The patch notes are like 20 something elements long, but as we honestly tried to keep it bug fixes, well,
Mm-hmm.
that's what it is.
Right.
Oh, and also, I think no, that was implemented before Ludum Dare. Before we published the first build.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the first version, like the last 2 hours was us trying to make it so the echo actually shows the ghosts here. Unlike it, since it doesn't do that in the fourth world, but it does it here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, initially that wasn't the case.
And if you stand on a platform that becomes visible for free, right?
Yeah, if you it actually every platform actually has a hitbox in the center. It's a square a bit smaller than the platform, and that's exactly why the hitbox and jump and everything is not as good as it could have been, because if I tried to make it larger, it would be possible to simply touch to avoid falling and basically just check whether there's a platform or not.
So do you mean it would be possible to like jump forward and then like move back as well?
Without even jumping, like you just walk ahead and it lights up, and you're like and you aren't falling, and you don't have to risk falling if there's no platform.
Mm-hmm.
It would be too close to the edge of the other platform, basically.
All right, got it.
All right, but we did fix the ghost blocks staying alive after the actual block dead.
Okay, yeah, so you have the indication that when a block's fallen, it's gone for good. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, that's going to make it much less treacherous to remember where you're supposed to go.
Yeah. I'll be honest, at some point I thought that was a good idea, but in the end it was mostly confusing and, well, simply that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think this is about as far as I made it the first time I played, so we'll see if I can do a bit better.
Yeah.
Hello, Excavator. How are you doing today? Oh, I think I've just made things so much worse for myself. Wait, there's nothing I can do from here.
I'm pretty sure that's the worst bit of the whole level. this drop here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
So as long as you avoid it, you should be able to do everything else. Well, there are the jumps as well, but
right. Well, yeah, having the constellations. The constellations are permanent, like when you replay the level.
At the moment, the stars regenerate every time. But if there would be constellations, of course, they would be permanent, at least throughout the level.
Because
also,
if I'm trying to... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Yeah, because you would be able to remember where you went.
Right. That's exactly the thing that I'd be trying to do here.
Yeah. Another idea of mine was to keep the steps, the footsteps of your previous playthrough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would help a lot.
You may want to not click and collect that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that last one there. Sorry,
Yeah.
the stream delay, it's tough to see exactly.
So you can explore the rest of the level, or you can go here. Yeah, there's this bit here.
All right. I don't know if I can make it back from here now.
You can risk jumping either here or there. It's both. I don't think it's worth to keep that a secret. But it's like 3 double jumps on this side.
Mm.
And it's optional. You can use the other way around to do.
Yeah, I unfortunately, it's one of those double wide jumps that I can never make.
Yeah. This level, it's... While designing it, I was like, well, I want to add some double jumps, but wait, that would make it too difficult, wouldn't it? Might as well just make another way so it actually loops around on that side.
Right.
So, but you do want... So you want to collect everything here, but avoid the double jumps to the from the left part, and just run around in the other places.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll try to make the jump this time. But yeah, I did notice that the I just walked off again. Yes, the first person platforming always gets you. Well, I just also want to acknowledge the comment here, but I'm sorry, Escavator, that other people, like the only comments you're getting are people who actually played it on stream. I don't know. I think it is also a part of the issue. I don't know how many ratings you've got in total, but I also know that games that are download only just do tend to... I did it again. I walked off. Games that are download only do tend to like not get as many plays in general.
Yeah, because that limits the platform.
Right. Yeah, because that's the other thing, is that not only do people just generally not like to download things if they can avoid it, but if you have a game that is playable in browser, then that automatically means it's playable on Windows, Mac, and Linux. So that definitely helps as well.
And sometimes even on Android. Yeah. That's a fun... By the way, that's a fun thing. Since Unity WebGL, for example, Unity WebGL supports Android, it kind of says it doesn't. The wrong side. It kind of says it doesn't support, but it actually does. And if you are, for example, making a puzzle which doesn't require many hotkeys, you can simply add buttons, and that would allow mobile players to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I've tried using GameMaker to support mobile players when possible. But the latest project, last few, I mean, it depends. Like, Allocate is actually playable within a web browser because, you know, as long as you don't need to operate the menu, and you fundamentally don't, I have actually played it on my phone. And, I got a decent score. Like, obviously, you're going to do better on desktop than you would on mobile, but...
Yeah, our previous game, the Laser Lines one.
Yeah.
Laser Loop it's called. It's also entirely completable on mobile. You only need the left wing of this crossing. Yeah.
I can never remember the level layout. Like, unfortunately, adding the constellations in the background, like, because these
Yeah,
aren't persistent, it doesn't
yeah,
help me remember what way I'm facing, and they don't stand out enough against the background. So I know it was just meant to be a quick fix, but unfortunately, um it's not really doing anything as far as improving the legibility.
yeah. It was just something to keep the background less, black.
Yeah, of course. And I think that's definitely a positive. Excavator, this is a game we've played on stream before. This is a post jam version submitted by Dragonazer, and we're trying to collect all these little flames. And the thing is, every time I do one of these echolocation pulses, which you'll see me do in just a second, when I do this, you can see the tiles change from green to yellow to orange to red. As they do, they'll crack and fall away. So eventually I can get into a situation where as I try to collect things, I can destroy the path back the way I came. So I'm trying to use my pulses very sparingly. But unfortunately, I see like a flame off like that in the distance, and if I walk to the end here, assuming that like, oh, I can go, I don't know where I'm coming from to get that one in the distance there, and I can end up destroying this path back behind me. But and I don't know, because I to get there I could go off this branch, I could go off this branch, or I could go off that branch in the distance there.
Let's be honest,
And
I'm distracting you a lot.
sorry.
I'm distracting you a lot by talking to you instead of.
No, I just it's not even a distraction. It's just I just don't know where to go from here to get there.
Like, as I said,
Mm-hmm.
after collecting the initial flames on this crossing, you only need the left from the center, the left side, the one that you jump to from the like.
Is that like? Is there? Do you mean like
to avoid confusion, from the center of the entire level?
Yeah,
So
but I don't know where that
you
is.
start, you only need the left.
I don't remember where I started.
Oops. From where you come here. Okay. So yeah, from here.
Yeah.
You only need the left side.
Only need this side.
So you can go there and echolocate and pray for the.
Oh, well, I just destroyed all those platforms and I don't see the path forward.
Oh, I meant. Never mind.
No, I'm sorry. It's still too hard for me to hold the level layout in my mind.
It's
alright. Can I go back that way? Is there any way for me to get that now that I've destroyed these platforms here?
Yeah, as I said, it loops around. So if you find
from the far side there, okay.
Use that. There's another trap there somewhere, but I don't even know how I would explain. Right. And also, yeah, I must say, you explain things better than I do. You explain my game better than I do.
Oh.
So while I don't really have any good examples of constellations, well, that's kind of why they aren't in game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have this one image.
Mm-hmm. It's the spiderweb constellation.
I'll see if I have any others.
Unfortunately, no, Excavator. You can't navigate with the stars because the star patterns change.
Yeah. As of now, the stars are recreated every time the level starts. We've talked about changing it, but didn't get to it yet.
Okay. Jump to here. How do I get that one? Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna beat this one. I don't remember how far I got the first time I played the game. I don't think I got stuck on 3-3. I think I actually made it past this one, but this time I just can't.
I'm pretty sure you were stuck here. I'll be
Mm.
honest. Oh, right, yeah. The thing we've added that was probably the best thing we've added.
Yeah.
The level numeration in game. So now you know you're stuck in at 3-3.
Okay, I actually didn't realize that that was not a feature last time.
No, it was simply the lines of the story.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny because you mentioned the story being sort of delivered one sort of line at a time each time you load into the level. Because I tried doing a similar thing to that. I made one of the jam entries I made a platformer where every screen that you cleared, you got another line of dialogue. But unfortunately, because people weren't always paying attention to the text, and then sometimes it would take them longer to clear a screen than I might have expected, they would sort of lose the meaning between screen clears. So, yeah, it didn't end up working out because it just like too much time passes between one line of text and the next.
Yeah. That was honestly my first experience with making a story. That was just like a show of thought at the end of the second day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it worked out kinda okay. It like I just wanted to like make it a bit more than simply levels of platforming because it felt well. We did want to make more with the story. We did want to end the game with an additional level that's not in, where like every flame you've collected so far gets into a big pie in the center, and the ending was, and one of the potential endings was so that, and now that you've collected everything, the light returns. Yay!
Mm-hmm.
But again, we didn't manage to do that in time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess it's the difficult thing about trying to deliver little bits of narrative intermixed with story gameplay, just intermixed with gameplay. You're gonna end up with these situations where, how can you tell like how much story should you try to deliver at a time? Should you like cut back and forth, or what's a good pace for it? What's too little? What's too much? No,
Okay,
I'm sure I just keep going straight here.
I remember you may be against it, so I'll mark it as a spoiler for you to choose yourself. But here's the map of the 3-3 level. It's up to you if you want to use it or not. I simply know we still don't have a save system. We don't have level select in game, so I don't think there's a reason to avoid it. Now, if you want to see like the fourth wall, simply seeing it, it's like the even worse than this one.
Oh boy. I'll see.
The shaders there look better. Okay. Because they don't show the ghost tiles, so it simply looks better.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, these double jumps are gonna. Oh, okay. Because I think this is a lot. I missed one. Oh.
It's all right. It's all right. You can get back to this one.
No, I can't. I can't get back there. All the way back there. I was so close to finally making it.
Yeah, that's To be honest, that's one of the main issues with the game overall. It's like we could make puzzles, we could make platformer, but making it all together and making it all be of adequate difficulty is not something I myself was ever able to do. Like, I think I've already mentioned that the last time, but every time I need to make levels, I simply try to make something with procedural generation to avoid levels.
Okay, so I think I'm supposed to head back this way now. Like, it takes me a lot of tries, but eventually I start to remember the layout of the level, but not completely. And okay, so that's the one that's way in the distance and I can't get. I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I just destroyed something. Okay, that's the one behind me though, so I think I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
you
then
should be.
Grab this one. You know, the other thing, like, not only do you want to see where, okay, I think I can move ahead. And not only do I want to, like, it helps a lot to know that there's no longer the ghost blocks because those were really making it difficult. But on the other hand, I also want to know where I've lost block. No, I ruined it again.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm using the spoiler.
I'm pretty sure it won't help that much, for the record.
Yeah. I mean, I think it just really depends on where I can stand.
So yeah, that's how the map looks. I'm okay with you showing it on stream if you would like for me to explain to everyone, but it's a simple TXT file.
Yeah.
And we have numbers for the blocks with life.
Yeah.
We have letters for flames and another letter for the start point. That's
yeah. Okay, so I'm even just trying to orient myself on this map. I guess I'm at the bottom.
Yeah, you're in the middle of the bottom part.
Okay.
And that was the flame you've missed the last time.
Yeah. Okay. So that goes up and all the way around, which means I need to not do that. I need to get everything else first.
Unless you want to make the single jumps to the one side and then back. But you probably don't. Yeah, since that's kind of avoidable.
Yeah, I think. Okay, and then
no.
Well. Okay, so in theory, I could just go straight to get that one there. But there's a double jump. Or maybe? I don't... It looks like I can just get this one from here.
Yeah. The main idea is that if you don't see any blocks, then you're safe to use the echo.
Yeah, if you don't see any at all. I gotta say, even with a map, this is hard to do.
I know. I think when I was playtesting it, I died like 10 to 15 times. And that's with me knowing everything.
Yeah.
You may want to...
Did I just screw it up again?
I have no idea.
Okay, it looked like... no, I did, because that one's not on this path.
I think... Well, you can do blind jumps. That's a challenge of on its own, I know. But then again, I don't think it will run out of the platform live from where you are.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, okay, it might be possible for me to go back around and get that one.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So, yeah, I think you've made it.
Yeah, unless I miraculously screw this up somehow. All right.
Well, that was like that's like the first of the three. No, that's the second of the three most difficult levels. 3-4, 4-1, and 4-4 are effectively jokes. I've kind of ran out of ideas, so I did something.
All right. I guess this is just a linear course at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't see any breaks in the path, so... If anyone else is watching, by the way, and has a game that they would like to submit, you can use the !submit command, and then I can play that game. Oh no! What was with that? Is that just a trap at the very end?
Pretty much.
Why?
The whole level is designed around it. Like every line you cross has 1 less HP.
Oh.
So if you kind of pay attention, you may or may not notice.
No. I certainly didn't.
Yeah. 2 flames, turn to the right. 2 flames, turn to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think everyone has fallen at least once there. So my trap worked very well.
Yeah, but you know,
I just I tried to make something relaxing after the last level. And that's what I came up with. I mean,
if you were gonna do a trick like that, though, like I would prefer if it happened sooner, because
because
no. So what am I supposed to do here?
You're supposed to, well,
just run, okay. Just run blind.
Yeah, that works. Finally enough, for the record, levels 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, and 4-1 have the same exact layout.
Yeah.
So I kind of tried to use that to use them to simply show the mechanics. And this one is like the third most difficult because it's not kind of difficult, it's just annoying as heck. You see, all about jumps.
Yeah, jumps to platforms which are only temporarily visible based on the effect.
Yeah, but you know that every flame has one, and they all have like 9 life. Let me see, how many are there actually? I never counted. There are 32 flames here.
32? Why? It's
literally, as I said, the 4, 2, 3, 3, 4, 2, and 4, 3 are the 3 most difficult levels. But I simply tried to make them different. Probably should have switched 3, 3 and 4, 2, but probably not. Because doing blind jumps is annoying as it is.
Oh boy.
So yeah, I know that will that won't help like at all. So here's the map for you, just so you know.
Yeah, does it help remotely? Because yeah, the level doesn't even have a distinct shape. Like it took me long enough to figure out where my position was on the previous map, and even then I still nearly got it wrong. And then this one's
Yeah,
just a
and
bunch of dots in space.
it doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter. It's like all about making the jumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I really want to add some kind of level selection.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking if it would be like if it would work to add level completion levels, if I may say so, like completing level on first life, completing the level without using echo.
I don't think there's enough information for that. I don't think you have. Oh, I think before I can even think about the possibility of doing that, like just
that would be the nightmare kind of difficulty, but it's not to be like done. It's more to be able to for example, I was thinking if it would work to allow people to collect flames over multiple lives, where if you collect a flame and die, it appears, but it appears like gray, like in your worlds within worlds.
Oh yeah, so it's just like an outline of it or something, like you've already gotten it before.
Yeah, and if you collect them all, then yeah, you get the marker. If you don't, that's okay, you've completed the level somehow.
See, okay, the thing is, the more you lean towards illusory terrain, in general, I specifically removed illusory terrain from Worlds Within Worlds because I just found that it's frustrating a lot of the time. Like, it's frustrating to have something that looks like it's there but isn't, and it's frustrating to have something that you can't see but is there.
Especially in platformers, yeah.
Especially in a first-person platformer. So, you know, I think that yeah. So okay, I'm gonna like just put the game aside for a moment. We're gonna just look up at the stars, and I'm gonna try my best to think about how we can sort of reconcile the ideas that are here with a design that I think would actually be good to build off of. What's a good foundation? Because if you wanted to keep the echo mechanic in the game and have the idea of like you can't use it too many times or else something goes wrong,
well, the basic solution would be to make the levels kinda short. Like the shorter the level is, the less memory would be required to remember it all.
Yeah.
Basically. But I'm not sure that kind of works with the overall like with the overall design, like designing short levels is even more difficult because they're like there's the next level which you may not see. It's all right if we stop here because well, I'll be honest, I was not thinking much when I was doing this one. So the next level is a maze.
Mm-hmm.
And every tile there has like 3 life. So you can echo twice and that's it.
Yeah.
And I did rework it. I made it kind of harder because the first version of it was simply you could simply jump from flame to flame until the end, like here. And making small levels would allow that.
Right.
And if they have and if they are simple but have long distances, that's just annoying like 3-4.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really tough. Like I totally see, like if you tried to make it so that, you know, if you remove the fact that the tiles break, then it's just a patience thing of like pinging over and over again until you find your way through it. So you lose the memorization aspect. If
And
you,
also I lose the theme in that
yeah,
case.
yeah, exactly. Which, you know, let's put the theme aside at this point. Like,
Yeah,
if we're not worried about
sure.
the jam project, if we're just trying to make something that is,
Yeah, honestly, I think this has some potential in some form to be like, I don't know, a $1 game on Steam or something.
I mean, first, just really quickly, I'm going to mention that it's you don't want to sell a game for less than $3 on Steam.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, when I was part of the 10MG collection, we did a lot of research on what it would be worth charging for our games, and the way most people regard it, at least, selling a game for just $1 isn't much different from selling a game for $3. That's not what I thought, but it certainly seems like, you know, some of us sold our game for $2, some of us sold for $3. But yeah, overall, once you hit that low in price, there isn't much difference between $1 and $3, and you just lose so much of your revenue per the credit card transaction when it's only a single dollar. So
I see.
yeah.
I didn't think about that at all. And yeah, thank you. That's a very important point. Whether we do it with this game or with another one, I'm pretty sure that our current goal would be to post something, like to publish something.
Yeah, publishing something, and there was a discussion I had about this just recently. Like, getting a game released on Steam is a good exercise.
Yeah.
But you know, I gotta say, like, from the projects of yours that I tried, I think I had a much better time with Laser Loop. Like, I know it's not the like most crazy unique, or even Excavatress. I would say those are better candidates for making a Steam release out of. Like, did you like? I don't know. Like, obviously, we're still waiting on the Epic rating. But did Laser Loop have actual ratings associated with it?
Of course it did. Didn't I? Wait, did I really not tag it as Ludum Dare?
Well, weirdly, I can't see the Ludum Dare tags for the previous entries. But if I go to, maybe if you go to those pages directly, if you have them bookmarked somewhere.
Let me see here. It has it tagged, and in the more information you have a link. There's a link.
Oh, interesting.
I have no idea why they made it that way, but yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so it's no longer at the top. Okay, so you see, okay, no, yeah, you do see your average ratings. So Laser Loop got an average overall rating 4.0. That seems pretty good. And then Excavatress got an overall rating of, okay, almost the same, also 4 out of 5. So I think that those are both great candidates for potential release. I don't feel as strongly about Laser Loop. Like,
about
sorry,
the last
so
light.
not Laser Loop, about Last Light. Yeah. It feels like a delicate balance and an interesting experiment.
But yeah, probably not much more.
Only because, you know, like as we were just trying to discuss it, right? Like if you remove the destructive element, then it's kind of just then there's no challenge. If you remove like if tiles stay visible on the screen, then it's not you're again like you lose an element of the challenge. Like there are a lot of ways you could compromise it, but
yeah, there are other options. For example, one idea we had that we implement at least yet was to make flames radiate the light, the echo. So when you collect the flame, you don't get the echo anymore because you can't echo yourself. And that would make it another kind of puzzle where you have to plan in advance, for example.
Yeah. You know, I would even wonder how this sort of game would work if it wasn't first person. Like if you had a consistent top-down look, that might make it easier to remember your surroundings.
I was thinking about it, and the main issue I've seen with that was being having it a lot more difficult to making it a lot more difficult to jump if it was a top-down game, because at least I personally haven't played many top-down games where the jump was
yeah, you're just sort of jumping into the screen.
Yeah.
Or yeah, like you're jumping sort of towards the camera.
I think the only one I've seen that had it done well was CrossCode, but it was isometric.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I mean with it. It's tricky that like any single change you could make, any recommendation that I would have, you always lose something. Like, what is this game without jumping? It's just following paths, you know. Like, can I can actually imagine a version of this game that works without the jumping, because like what is the jumping adding to the game really? Like if you destroy a path and you can't jump, then you can just consider that a fail condition and you lose the level. So maybe I don't know. I feel like you could rig up a prototype of this without too much effort, where you just have the camera in a fixed position above the player. You have like a 1 or 2 levels where you test this out, where the player can't jump, and if you destroy a path that would link you from the beginning to the end, then you lose.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah. One of the reasons we didn't do that was because we don't have a 3D anyone who could 3D model, so the player is simply a capsule.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying that, like, you know, you could try this as a prototype only, because it would just be a way that you could pretty easily test out, like, who cares if the player's just a capsule, let's just have them move through space.
Yeah.
Sorry?
To see whether it works.
Exactly. Yeah. Because like if that actually works and you end up with something that you're that you like the look of, then it's pretty trivial to, you know, find or buy a cheap 3D model online if you wanted to place that in for the character.
Yeah. You're right. If we are thinking about publishing this as a full product,
exactly,
we might as well
if this is the one, it wouldn't be all that expensive. But I still think that if you're going to pick one of those most recent 3 games, and I just mentioned those 3 because those are the 3 that I've played. If you have another one in mind, then by all means go with that one. But I think it's at least worth taking your best rated game and making that the one that you release on Steam. Knowing that you might not even make back the $100 you spend on the Steam ticket, right?
I'm honestly not expecting to get them back.
Right.
It's more about the achievement itself.
Yeah, exactly. And if that is meant to be like a portfolio piece of like a demonstration of like you got the Steam libraries integrated, you got the game up on the storefront, you worked out any of the bugs associated with that, then that in itself, there's worse ways to spend $100, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But I still think that even if you're going for it for the sake of the experience, you still stand the best chance to recoup your investment if you go with your most well-rated game.
That's reasonable.
And, obviously, with a game like Excavatress, you need to put a little more polish on it, but it's a systemic game that, in theory, somebody could play for a really long amount of time. And you just kind of, considering the fact that Excavatress and Laser Loop have almost the same rating. Like, clearly, I gotta pull them open again, but Laser Loop and Excavatress. So this is why I love the drop-down history in Firefox, because it's just so easy to what was that webpage I was on? Here, got it.
Mm-hmm.
So Excavatress had, let's get these side by side actually. The reason I bring it up is because Laser Loop is entirely content driven. So to actually develop enough content for people to feel like it's a worthwhile purchase would take a long time. So Excavatress didn't place as high overall. But it's a 3.8 versus a 3.9. The fun is a 4.0 versus a 3.9. Innovation, that doesn't really matter. Like no one on Steam is going to rate the innovation, but for what it's worth, they consider Excavatress to be slightly more innovative than Laser Loop. Honestly, I say that. People might see like, oh, this is a mirror reflecting game. I've played those before, I'm not interested. But it's like, oh, people do like Tetris likes, so I should say the one thing that people on Steam are not going to care about at all is the theme. That's for sure. Graphics seems like both of them scored again like the 0.1 difference. Audio, again, you could even change the audio if you needed to, so that's not really factoring in too much. And this is not even a 0.1 difference. This is like a 0.6 difference. Humor, irrelevant. Mood, irrelevant, and it's the same anyway. So again, all that being said, if you had to pick one of these two projects, considering how close they are in overall rating, I think you'd have an easier time releasing Excavatress because of the fact that it is a game that is like systems driven and you could just keep playing it. Whereas Laser Loop, it's kind of like you would play it, and unless you made the length of the game longer than the 2-hour minimum return window, I think you would get a lot of people just like trying it, finishing it, and then saying, "Okay, give me my money back." So, yeah, I think that would be my recommendation, at least for if you're considering like releasing a game on Steam. And then all of which is to say, you can still wait to see what the actual ratings come in for Last Light. But I think that
it might score well here because everyone is tired of the theme being everything changes every 5 seconds, but that may not represent the actual score.
Yeah. So you can see what it's like. You can go through it like line by line, as I just did with these two games. But I think that as I said, if you're just trying to release a game that is going to do well on Steam, then once again, when you're dealing with Last Light, you need to it's content driven again. Like it's going to live or die based on the level design. Can you design 2 hours worth of levels? Maybe, maybe not. I will say that when we did release our here we go. When I was part of the 10MG collection, which was a series of games that, like 10MG, 10-minute games. You can see on our Steam page here, we have the banner at the top here saying like this is 10MG is a collection of 10-minute games, and then we have this big banner that says this is a short game. And I think I had maybe 1 or 2 returns. So even though the game was finished within 10 minutes, even though somebody could play through all 10 of the 10-minute games within the 2-hour window, I still think we got barely any returns, because we were upfront about the fact that like this is a short game. You are only going to get roughly 10 minutes worth of play out of this. And if you did buy the bundle for $10, then you got 100 minutes worth of content for $10, which is, pretty comparable to a movie ticket, right? So that was how we were thinking the price would be justified. But yeah, so if you are the more honest you can be about the nature of the game and what the description is, the more I guess the less likely people will be to return it and so on.
That's true.
So if you do end up deciding on a project to actually like go ahead with the publishing process, do talk to me about it, because I have released 3 games on Steam and I have at least some insight on some of the hurdles you're going to face and some advice on like how to set up your page and all that. And I'd be happy to, have that conversation on the stream so that I can like, create a VOD of it and then send it off to anyone else who's interested in future.
Yeah. I'll be sure to do that. And also I'll be sure to show you what we've came up with, because obviously your feedback helps quite a bit.
Good.
Also,
I'm glad.
There are new people on stream, so we might as well.
Oh no.
Why not get released to free you from the hell that you're in?
All right. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that of the games, of the 3 that I played, I've had the most difficulty playing Last Light. Got through Laser Loop eventually. Definitely, I think that I would have had an easier time of it again if I had been focusing 100% on it and not streaming at the time. And then Excavatress, it's just high score based, so I didn't do well at it, but it certainly goes down the easiest. So I think that it definitely has like a broad appeal in that sense. So
it has,
yeah,
the potential at the very least.
Yeah, so as I said, just like weigh the different games out. At least wait until you see what the ratings are for Last Light, and then just let me know what you decide, and we can go from there.
Oh, by the way, if you don't mind me taking a bit more of your time,
yeah, sure.
How about what's the status of the your own game jam idea?
Oh, which, the Candle Coffee Courier?
No, I don't mean your game for this game jam. I mean, there was this long talk about you hosting game jam, basically.
Oh, right. Yeah. So I did have that idea at one point, and so it's not really something that I've given any thought all that recently. I'm sort of looking back through the Game Jam channel on my Discord, and I think that, for now, the best that I can keep doing is, just keep giving my honest feedback on a game because I really think that maybe this is conceited of me to say so, but I think that I know how to give feedback on a project that is maybe a bit more critical and a bit more honest than the average person who's participating in something like a game jam and just like wanting to be good natured about things. Um, so yeah, from that perspective, I'm happy to like keep talking through things. As I've given feedback on Last Light, like I definitely, I'm still. I don't want to be mean. I never want to be mean about the things that I say. So I'm kind of like choosing how to say things particularly. But yeah,
I mean,
I don't know. The like as far as hosting a game jam myself, it's not something that has certainly not something that I've had the time for lately, especially now that I've switched to full time employment. So um, it's not like I'm definitively saying that I'm never going to do it. It's just that the
I
infrastructure necessary to do it the way that I want to would take a lot of time and effort, and I wouldn't even know how to set it up. I don't have the like expertise in setting up web forms and all that. So
I
yeah, it's kind of at a standstill right now.
Yeah, thank you for answering. I was wondering and kind of hoping since yeah, coming back to the publishing to Steam idea,
Yeah.
yeah, because you've mentioned that, but uh, yeah, probably as of now it would be easier if you simply um,
Yeah, it would actually be easier for me. Like if you have questions just every step of the way, you can ask me those questions. I record these as a series of VODs, and then the all the advice that I would have to give in general and to anyone are specific things that they can look up based on the VODs, and that provides a good chunk of the value that the sort of game jam idea that I had for anyone who's interested, the idea behind the game jam would be like a sort of production boot camp, like take it from cradle to grave, from starting out to a game that is released on Steam. No guarantee of it doing well, look at you don't need to look very far to see that my games look, 5 user reviews. I don't even have enough reviews on any of my games to generate an actual aggregate rating. So I'm not promising any amount of success. What I am promising is the fact that I can help you get a finished product that is up on Steam, and then hopefully I'll be able to talk to some people potentially soon about actually getting it the rest of the way and what kind of connections need to be made and what needs to actually be done to get a more than 4 or 5 user review product on Steam. But yeah, that is the limit of my expertise right now. Is I can at least get the game finished, and then as to whether or not it's being marketed correctly, that's not my area of expertise.
that kind of reminds me of that GDC. I think it was a GDC talk with the name like 7 years, 7 years and 10 games without a hit.
Yeah, yeah. And I've been making games since I was well, I can at least say I've been releasing games. Like I think I released my first game on the Mac App Store. Yeah, like weirdly, that was the first game, the first commercial project that I released. Um, that was about like coming up on no, I think it's actually coming up on 9 years at this point. So yeah, I've been trying to make games and sell them for a very long time, and it's been a very difficult journey. But I'm not giving up. It's just not everyone has the same level of persistence and patience as I do.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm really happy that as of now, at the very least, game jams are a thing. Are apparently getting at least at the very least a bit more popular.
Yeah.
Judging, I think, like looking back at the like 2 years ago, there was like half of the amount of participants in Ludum Dare, I think. So I'm happy more people are getting into it. And hopefully.
Yeah. No, I think that you're not special, nor is your game. You'll never ship a hit. Devs, cheers. Yeah. No, that's rough. I mean, 11 years without a hit. I'm going for your record.
I mean, that's just a thing to keep in mind. The how is it called? The era of the survivor.
Yeah.
Like
it's survivorship bias.
Successful,
yeah.
Effective. Yeah. But effectively, like only a certain percent of people actually succeed.
Yeah. Very, very true. And that's the thing. Like if you go on to like the game dev Reddit, you will see hundreds of people posting awesome stuff constantly. And it's so demotivating when you see like, wow, all these people are making these awesome things. This is demotivating to me. Maybe it's inspiring to others, but like, and then I see how few of those games actually ship. You know, like maybe some of them are just hobby projects. Maybe some of them aren't trying to advertise. Maybe some of them as finished as they want to be. Maybe it's just a portfolio piece, whatever. So few of those games actually get finished, and yeah, it is very. You really have to keep that survivorship bias in mind, because otherwise, you know, if anything, I would really love to finally find success with my games so that people will listen to me and I can make a GDC talk like this where I talk about how I also had an experience of, you know, not getting success in the game development field and what that felt like, and how it's like, okay, you know, is it really fair to say that as long as you keep trying, you'll eventually find success? Because what does that advice look like to most people? Like if I hadn't been working every summer of my childhood to save up my money so that I could hire an artist to work on you know, this game, I didn't mean to go to the homepage. I meant to go to okay, if I click on this achievement and then I click, can I get to the game? No? Okay. This is easier. Okay. You know, I ran a Kickstarter. I spent thousands of dollars working on this game, and it didn't go anywhere. Like I didn't market it properly. I think it was a fine game. It's just, you know, it doesn't matter how much effort you put into a game unless you can get it in front of the audience that is going to enjoy it. So yeah, there's a lot that I want to say, and I hope that people will hear me out, because yeah, I don't know. As I said, I'm like 9 years and counting between for when I first shipped a game on the Mac App Store. Of course, I've been making games since I was 10 years old, so for the better part of 17 years now. So yeah, it really depends. Like there are easier ways to get into the game development industry for sure. I'm stubborn and impatient, and I want to work on my own games, and that didn't work. So that's why I'm now full-time employed, working with the artist who I actually, you know, hired to make this game, and that's where we're making the city building and political management game Project Mayor. And yeah, so I do that during the day. I do these streams during the evening, and that's the route where I'm taking right now. So that time that you have when you maybe don't have so many expenses in your life, you definitely want to make good use of that to build out your portfolio, network as much as possible, and yeah, if I ever find the ticket to success, believe me, I will be happy to share it because it does not come easy.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's a ticket to success or anything. But I do want to share this talk as well by Mark Rosewater. Even if you don't care for Magic the Gathering, this talk is brilliant. There's a lot of great game design tips in this one, so definitely check that out. I just saw it in the recommended on the side there, and I was like, oh yeah, let me plug that one as well.
Yeah, I will for sure.
But yeah, I think.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
What else could I say? In general, I feel like making like 100 of small projects sounds maybe more difficult, but has a better chance of firing one off than trying to make a single thing for a really long time. At least that's kind of my experience. And that's a funny thing. The game we did this time, it kind of resonates with our first ever game tried to make. It was a maze again. It was a maze with levers. So you pull a lever somewhere in the maze, something else changes, and it was like the idea was for it to be a puzzle, but and we worked on it for like a year in our off time and stuff. And at some point, we simply found out we didn't have the vision of how everything could fall into place. The levels were unintuitive. There was nothing to like light the spark.
Yeah.
So I think we haven't been making any large projects since. It was mostly game jams, prototyping.
Yeah. And okay, so the best advice I can give on terms of like, should you make large projects or should you make small projects, is in my experience, prototype the heck out of every idea that you have. Start with a whole bunch of small projects until you find the one that really shines. Absolutely right in that regard. Where that breaks down is you should not ever be pushing each of those prototypes to the point where you're releasing it onto Steam or something. Not if you're expecting any kind of commercial success. Because, hey, I mean, we've all heard of Indiepocalypse before, but it's really legitimate. Like, unless your game gets between 5 and 10,000 wish lists, as this sort of Twitter thread breaks down, this is the algorithm right now. Your game is not going to stand out among all the other big players. So it's not just a matter of, hey, each one of the games I make is a lottery ticket to success. I should just make as many as possible. You can't do that. You have to find something, prototype, as I said, prototype to get it to a point where you can play it and test out the idea, see if it's as viable as you think it's going to be, see how much fun it feels for you to play, and then get it in front of other people, see what they have to say about it. Because until you sort of have a winner on your hands that you can then carry forward and really invest in to get it out there and get it the marketing that it needs so that you can get it in front of the audience that wants to play it, yeah, the small bets just aren't worth it from if you're expecting a return on investment, right?
Yeah. And also the kinda sad part about everything is that marketing is like still 50 to 80% of the project.
Yeah, exactly. And you can imagine that there is a fixed floor to that cost. Like if marketing is always going to cost at least $50,000, then why are you spending $50,000 on a project that cost 5,000? Like you should be spending $50,000 on a project that costs 100,000 to make or more, right? So the the finances of it are mind-boggling, and you shouldn't start with that either. You should be starting with the project that is you're putting it up on Steam because you paid the $100, and uh, make your best effort, but figure out everything that's going to go wrong with something that you get in front of people. Do your best to market it yourself, but just really check your expectations and don't expect it to succeed. Because who knows, maybe you do have a huge winner on your hands and you are a marketing whiz and you are able to figure it out all by yourself. I'm not about to say that it is mandatory to spend $50,000 on marketing. I'm pulling that number out of nowhere, by the way.
And the funny and kind of awful, I would say terrible part about that
Yeah.
is that if that happens, then likely you'll be outshined by someone big who grabs your idea and makes it in like a week or 2 weeks or a month and publishes it and markets it properly.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly possible. Like, even then, even if somebody does that, it depends on the nature of the game. Like, if it's a systems driven game and the systems are really easy to copy, then yeah, you can get sniped. But then, then you can at least get a little bit of a marketing buzz and go
Yeah,
around. Like, people love the justice of like, oh wait, this game that's big and popular now got copied off of this other game. You're
yeah,
you're still going to be losing out overall. Like, I remember when 2048 came out and everyone said, hey, this is just a copy of Threes. Well, who's heard of Threes? Who bought Threes when 2048 was free? Like, that is definitely the sad thing, is that when a game is easy enough to clone like that, people will clone it. But that's why I was saying that, like, I think it's still worthwhile to, spend the $100 on Steam, learn how to integrate the packages, do your best to market it yourself, and just see how far you can get on your own without investing too much time into it. I'm talking about sinking maybe a few months into the project. And by the way, in terms of actually accruing those wish lists to have any chance of getting on the front page and getting noticed, you are probably not going to get the 5,000 wish lists that you need within just a few months. So it's almost like the very first thing you want to do is, the moment you decide on what idea you're going to make, as long as you've got something decent to show for it, is when you actually want to make your Steam page so you can start getting those wish lists. And honestly, it's such a mess. I don't even.
yeah.
Yeah, it seems like you can never have your Steam page up early enough, and yet when it's that early in the project, you have nothing to show. So what's the point? Because people are going to wishlist something and when they don't like how it looks, because we are all there. We're all looking at all these Steam pages and saying like, this doesn't look that exciting to me. I'm just going to ignore it. Um, so
Hmm.
yeah, I guess I don't know if there's much more that I can say right now, because I definitely feel like I'd want to take some more time to consider exactly what advice I can give. But as I said, if you do end up picking out a project for yourself that you want to um, go the distance with and sort of get that portfolio piece out, then I'd be happy to talk with you through the steps.
uh, I'll keep that in mind. I hope I can get there soon enough. And I'm also working on a few other projects in the meantime
Mm-hmm.
with other. So maybe I can show something on that side as well, because it may have more or less potential.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, For sure. I mean, anytime you're sort of evaluating an idea, I'd be happy to talk it through.
Yeah.
But
Well,
again, you don't have to worry about what's the perfect game you're going to release on Steam because there is no obvious answer to that. I think as long
yeah.
as you pick a game that is, you know,
Mm,
you can at least
um,
see an audience for it.
uh, I was thinking about it, and I think for me personally, as a developer,
Mm-hmm.
the main important point is having it fun, having it at least a bit original. So, like, not putting out a 25th clone of, I don't know, Flappy Bird. And hopefully having an audience I can connect with.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, in a genre I myself would play.
Yeah. Yep. I think that yeah, those are all absolutely like good points. Totally correct.
But yeah, I think we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, sounds good. And I guess I don't want to keep you. I know it's crazy late where you are. So thanks for having this conversation with me. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what you decide on.
Thank you for having me. Uh, See you later.
Yeah. All right. Good night. Bye bye.
Goodbye.